Hi, welcome to the channel. Happy to have you here. I am Nikhil. This is Games Showcase, a series where I talk about a game I have been playing recently. Today's game is Trek to Yomi. I played this game for free on Games Pass. Trek to Yomi has its flaws, but if you look past them, I believe there is a good game to be enjoyed. Unfortunately, these flaws may be enough to put off some players and not want to complete the game. I was sometimes so frustrated I wanted to quit the game as well, but there were also times where I just marveled at it and just soaked in the experience. The question for you, the viewer, is the same one I faced while playing the game. Can you look past the flaws of a game and enjoy its promise? The game is developed by Flying Wild Hog, a Polish game developer, and published by Devolver Digital. The game tells the story of a samurai, his fall, and then his redemption. If this plot feels as old as time itself, that's by design. If you haven't already pieced together by the black and white footage, this game is paying homage to old samurai movies. The game lets us control the hero of an old school samurai movie and lets us participate in its narrative. This is where the first issue with the game lies. In its efforts to stay true to old movies, the game sticks to a dated plot that is not interesting. The homage is fun at start, but that novelty wears off quick and we're stuck with a boilerplate story. It did not bother me much, but I can understand why some players wouldn't enjoy it. The game looks fantastic. I cannot describe in words how beautiful this game is. I will let you look at the footage and grasp it yourself. I will try my best not to include any visuals that will spoil the story, so I will most likely only pick scenes from first chapter, but I can assure you that the game is visually stunning from start to end. The game's sound is nothing spectacular, but does its job well. The music firmly remains in the background and doesn't distract you from the beautiful visuals of the game. Would have loved if there was a memorable soundtrack, but again, it didn't bother me too much. The game is a side-scroller that is mostly linear, but also adds some exploration. Exploration is always rewarded, not just with collectibles, also with extra ammo for our ranged weapons, extra health and stamina. Sometimes there are hidden shrines that can be explored and used. Shrines act as save points and also refill health. Sometimes exploration rewards us with environmental kills on enemies, which is also very satisfying. It's commendable how they've added such a great exploration system in a side-scroller game. Now let's get to combat. Combat is a basic combination of health and stamina. Health is self-explanatory and stamina is required to perform any combat move. This includes attacking, defending, parrying, and dodging. Our primary weapon is of course a katana, with which we can do a light attack, heavy attack, blocks, and parries. As we progress through the game, we get some ranged weapons as well. We'll also learn some combos as we progress in the game. As this is a samurai hack and slash, combat is a core gameplay element. Unfortunately, this is the most flawed aspect of the game. The game has a good combat system in theory, but in practice, combat becomes a chore pretty quick. The combat is mechanically clunky and too repetitive. The combos are there, but the opportunity rarely comes to use them, and there is almost never a need to use them. To make matters worse, the game just pops up a text box to tell the player what buttons to press for a combo, but never gives an opportunity to practice them. The enemy types are limited and very repetitive to the point that by mid-game, combat becomes an annoyance. The duels are fun at start, but that gets repetitive too, and boss battles aren't anything to write home about. It's not that the game doesn't present itself with enough opportunities to keep the game and combat interesting. The game puts our hero, a samurai, in a corrupted land filled with enemies similar to zombies. A samurai hack and slash game that has zombies should not be boring, but it unfortunately is. I don't want to give away much, but the game sets itself to bring in interesting combat opportunities and then completely lets itself down by making those enemy attacks very similar to enemies we fight throughout the game. I played the game on normal difficulties and I died a bunch of times, so the combat is challenging, but it is so clunky and boring. By the late game I just put the difficulty to easy so I can just get less annoyed by combat and breeze through it. Before I forget to mention, there is puzzle solving in the game as well. Nothing great, it's a standard affair, but it is still fun to solve them. So if we look past the flawed combat system and run-of-the-mill plot, what do we get? We get a visually stunning game that is artfully crafted by the developers. The exploration is great, music is good, puzzles are enjoyable. Even the combat is satisfying when it works. I couldn't play the game for more than 1 hour in each session. The combat gets boring by the half an hour mark, but the game kept pulling me back for more as I wanted to explore more areas, awe at its stunning visuals, continue my epic journey, however bland my hero or his motivations are, and wonder at what the game could have been if they had a bit more interesting combat system. If you want to try the game for yourself, please go to the game's website by clicking on the link in description. Thanks for watching. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you wish to. See you next time.